We are live at the George Preston Recreation Center in the township of Langley, British Columbia. It is Tuesday night action at the 2020 New Holland Canadian Junior Men's and Women's Curling Championships. My name is Al Cameron from Curling Canada. I'll be joined momentarily by our color commentator John Cullen. He's stuck in that legendary Vancouver traffic. And it is our pleasure to bring you this game tonight, this men's game between unbeaten Prince Edward Island, skipped by Tyler Smith from the Montague Curling Club, and the Manitoba No. 2 host team, skipped by Jacques Gauthier from the Assiniboine Club in Winnipeg. And it is a big game. First place on the line in this men's round-robin pool. And obviously records carrying over into the championship pool. Both of these teams headed to the championship pool, but every win counts, and they'll make a difference when it comes to determining playoff positions. Only 3 teams will make the playoffs out of that championship pool. And let's run down the lineups for both of these teams, as Manitoba No. 2 and the host will have last rock. Playing for Prince Edward Island from the Montague Curling Club is skip Tyler Smith. The vice skip is Ryan Abraham. The second is Jake Fleming. The lead, Ryan Lowry, and the coach, Phil Gorviat. And once again, they come in with a 5-0 record. And for the Manitoba No. 2 host team from the Assiniboine Memorial Curling Club in Winnipeg, it is skip Jacques Gauthier. The vice is Jordan Peters. Second, Braden Payette. Lead, Zach Balaka. And the coach is John Lund, and they come in with a 4-1 record. So, John, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you.
It is going to be a honey of a game as both these teams are carrying a hot hand.
I can't wait. I can't wait so hard that I broke many traffic laws to get here, so very excited for this one. Don't tell the cops. If you're a police officer listening to this, I was very responsible as I was driving here.
And he is a stand-up comedian, of course. He was just joking. No,
yes,
he wasn't.
Joking. Most definitely.
So we'll see what these teams have on display for us. Brian, both of these skips are veterans of this championship, of course. Tyler Smith, having played in this championship 5 times previously, representing Prince Edward Island on 4 of those occasions, did play for New Brunswick in one year, 2018, playing with as a teammate to Liam Marine at Shawinigan. Best record that Tyler Smith has ever put together was a 5-4 record, skipping PEI at Corner Brook in 2015. So a win tonight would give him his 6th victory of the 2020 championship, which would be a career best. And there you see young Jake Fleming, and anybody who knows anything will recognize that face to say he comes by it honestly. Paul Fleming, his dad, who has played in a number of Briers and won a silver medal for Nova Scotia in 2005 at Edmonton, losing to Randy Furby.
Yeah, he's a chip off the old block, as we would say, Al. And in this case, the block is large.
As is Jake, 20 years old, by the way, a firefighting first responder student at Holland College. So, game on, rocks in play, but I suspect with that shot, they will all go flying. And I'm no expert, John, but I'm going to guess there's going to be zeros on the board at the end of this end, as we have no guards in play.
Yeah, it would seem like it. This is the type of game that will have the makings of something that will look pretty similar to, ends that you'll see at the Brier sometimes. I think sometimes, you see a Brier scoreboard with multiple blanks on the board, and you think, oh, wow, what a boring game. And usually the blanks are on the board because a lot of great hits have been made. And we obviously know Manitoba's hitting pedigree just as a province. They love to hit, and they tend to be very good at it from the junior levels all the way on up. And we've watched this PEI team this week, Al, and they're no strangers to the big hit weight either. So I think we're going to see both teams here, if they ever feel like they're in trouble, not going to be afraid to clear the house like we just saw Braden Payette do on his shot. And I do think it appears that Tyler Smith has already given up trying to generate a steal in this end, and we're just going to see the teams trade hits now.
Mentioned right off the bat, John, that first place is the prize here. Both teams headed to the championship pool, but I think when you look at how important wins are and win-loss records are that carry over to that championship pool, particularly from a Manitoba 2 perspective, there's a big difference between 5-1 and 4-2 going into that championship pool.
No question. We talked about it yesterday, and so for those of you who are not familiar with the format, These teams get grouped into 2 pools from the start, and then halfway through they play half the teams in the field, and then after those games are completed, they're divided up into the championship pool and the in the seeding pool in the mixed doubles tournament. And so the win-loss records they have in their initial pools carry over into the championship pool. So as you say, these wins and losses go directly on the board. For both of these teams, it's now essentially a full round robin. They'll end up playing most of the teams in this event. And so, yeah, for PEI, obviously going in 6-0 will put them in the driver's seat for a playoff position. And like you say, for Manitoba too, to keep that 5-1, keep that single loss on their record is huge moving forward, especially when you consider that all your games from here on out are going to be tough ones.
And especially when you consider the tiebreaker possibilities as well, head-to-head being one of those key tiebreakers. So both these teams would like to have that tiebreaker advantage in their back pocket going into that championship pool.
Well, absolutely. The way we've seen both of these teams play, some of the numbers they've put on the board stats-wise, it's obviously 2 teams that are playing fantastic, both coming into this championship and now that they're here at this championship. And so, as you say, getting a win over a team like Manitoba 2 if you're PEI, or getting a win over PEI if you're Manitoba 2 is huge.
It's notable, by the way, that Tyler Smith and his vice, Ryan Abraham, do lead all the shooting percentages at their position. Tyler Smith, through 5 games, firing at an 88% ratio. That is amazing, and that's 3 points better than Rylan Kleider. And Ryan Abraham at 89, that ties him with Scott Mitchell of Northern Ontario. So both that back end for Prince Edward Island is really shooting the lights out.
I mean, those are Brier level numbers, Al, when we're talking about percentages at the end of the week. I mean, obviously here we're only halfway through the week, but for a skip to be at 88 and a third to be at 89, incredibly impressive numbers.
Hey, line's good. Felt good. Wait only, guys. Line's good. Make sure, guys.
Speaking of 88, I think that's the number of years old that Tyler Smith's throwing broom is.
Jake's always
has got some miles on the chassis.
That classic.
And those aren't highway miles on that chassis either.
That's good.
No, those are Prince Edward Island miles. He's driving back and forth up and down the island. I will say that is one of my favorite features of any of the uniforms in this tournament. I love that the back of the PEI uniforms have the outline of the island there. It looks fantastic.
Jacques Gauthier going to play the hit, and we'll mention again why there are 2 Manitoba teams and 2 British Columbia teams in this event. The Yukon and Nunavut could not field teams in the junior boys, so BC, as the host province for the event, was granted a second entry, and because Manitoba finished second to BC at last year's New Holland Canadian Juniors, it was Manitoba that was granted a second team to make sure that both sides, 14 teams in the girls and 14 teams in the boys, were equal.
Well, and something we're seeing here, Al, we saw a few blank ends played in the games we've seen this week, and a lot of the times in the blank ends, we've seen teams get a chance to get their draw weight down because we've had hits and rolls out of the house. And with PEI and Manitoba too, we're seeing a ton of hit and sticks. So not giving the other team an opportunity to get their draw weight down.
Okay. That's going to roll out, so Jacques Gauthier already in the hack, ready to throw this through.
Just as I speak about not hitting and rolling out of the house, Tyler Smith does just that, but no harm, no foul. This will be an easy blank for Jacques Gauthier.
These teams very familiar with each other, of course. Jacques Gauthier skipping at the New Holland Canadian Juniors for the first time after playing with JT Ryan for the last few years. And speaking with Jacques before the game, JT undoubtedly is watching this game. So hello, JT. You're missed at this year's event, obviously. One of the very fine skips that Manitoba has turned out over the years. And but as I say, these teams do know each other. They played once already this year at a junior spiel in Ottawa, and it was Tyler Smith coming out on top, and that was the first time Tyler said that he'd beaten Jacques Gauthier. So
wow,
Tyler did not shy away from letting Jacques know that it was the first time he'd beaten him either.
Well, that's the thing, right? When you're two teams like Tyler Smith and Jacques Gauthier, two players specifically that have been at these championships a bunch, even though they live across the country from one another, they're two elite junior teams that have had chances to play each other before, and it does feel good when you get that first win. And I know for me, a guy like that growing up was Jim Cotter. It felt like he beat me 4,000 times before I finally got one on him. And, you know, you do remember that when you get beaten by a team a bunch of times and you get that win, it feels pretty darn good. So I bet Tyler Smith will be forgetting all of the losses and remembering only the win.
Jacques Gauthier playing vice skip for JT Ryan last year. Jordan Peters was the second on that Manitoba team last year that lost in the gold medal game to BC's Tyler Tardy, who stole one in the 9th and one in the 10th for the 7-5 win. And of course, Tyler is Jacques Gauthier's cousin. And we will warn you in advance too, it is a big Manitoba crowd in here. All three Manitoba teams on the ice within the arena, so you will hear a lot of noise from the Manitoba crowd.
And three great Manitoba teams at that. And, you know, you're bringing up JT Ryan a lot, and I will say if he is watching, I think now that he's graduated to the men's game, might be time to consider using his very valid first name. So he gave an interview a couple of years ago at the juniors, and JT, I don't know what the T stands for, but the J stands for John, and he says he goes by JT because he doesn't like the name John. And, well, I think we all know what my first name is. It's John. And I'll say it served me pretty well, JT. So if you ever feel like you need to switch something up, maybe a couple losses in a row, might be good to go by John T. Ryan. Just something to think about.
That's a classic slump buster right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
So Manitoba, number 2, chasing these Prince Edward Island Stones. There's a couple of them in there. One of them is gone, but it will still be Manitoba, or pardon me, Prince Edward Island. Looking like they're shot. We'll have to see the overhead, but
yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be shot momentarily unless this hit somehow jams, which I don't imagine it will. I like the strategy from PEI too. The first rock from Ryan Lowry slipped behind the tee line, and rather than throwing a center guard and trying to make that into something, Tyler Smith put his second rock in the top 8. Solid strategy brings the play into the house. But now with that rollout, Jacques Gauthier will have a chance to go behind the corner guard. And again, love this call too. And this is what we see from the elite teams at this event, that they're not afraid to ignore rocks in play that are counting on the rings. And we've seen a few teams this tournament prefer to keep things open and hit almost at all costs, no matter what. But when you see the top teams at this event, they're never going to be afraid to ignore rocks that are scoring to put their rocks in a better position.
Braden Payette, by the way, got a honey of a story about Braden.
Yeah, okay.
So
lay it on me.
this is his mom gave us this story. She and her husband Dwayne got a phone call one morning that from a lady that said she was going to deliver a puppy that had been ordered late that afternoon. Mom and Dad say, "Well, wait a minute, we didn't order any puppy." Turns out that she had been communicating with Braden via email about purchasing this puppy. It was Braden who'd ordered the puppy. Braden was 5 years old. 5 years old. And then had the wherewithal to remember to clear the history on the computer to show he hadn't been have the discussion. So suffice it to say, he still don't have no puppy. No puppies for Braden Payette. I'm almost brilliant.
I'm almost less impressed by the fact that he ordered a puppy when he was 5 and the fact that he knew how to clear the internet history when he was 5. That's more impressive to me. But we see these teams again. Both teams comfortable being aggressive. Tyler Smith, rather than splitting the rings, has decided to throw up a center guard, and Jacques Gauthier is going to come around it. Sometimes what you will see teams do without the hammer when they have one kind of sitting in the back 12 like that is to split the house. But for Tyler Smith, if he were to split the house, he'd be going around that red corner guard. And that would allow Jacques Gauthier to come on top and have potentially favorable position behind a corner guard. So Tyler Smith throws up the center guard, hoping that maybe they can encourage some play around there and perhaps generate a steal.
PEI opened with a 5-4 win in the opening draw back on Saturday. It seems like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, but it was just
especially for you doing 3 of these games a day. This is only my first game.
They beat Manitoba #1 Brett Walter 5-4. Came back and then beat New Brunswick 7-4, Quebec 8-4, Northern Ontario 6-5, and Nova Scotia 8-4. Nothing but W's, but there is a miss from Prince Edward Island as that rock just a little bit wide.
Yeah, we've talked about it all week, but this ice quite release sensitive. So if you're throwing the out turn there like Ryan Abraham was, if you set that out turn a little bit, if you are a little bit positive with your release, we've seen rocks all week really track when that happens and stay straight, and it looks like that's exactly what happened there.
Manitoba #2, meanwhile, opened with a 10-9 win over Quebec, 9-5 win over New Brunswick, lost its only game 11-3 to Graham Weagle of Nova Scotia, won the Battle of Manitoba 9-4 over Brett Walter, and then beat Northern Ontario 7-5 this morning.
Saw a lot of finish on that rock there. And we've seen that all week too. Once the rocks tend to get near or into the house, they're really finishing hard, and that rock looked like it was pretty solid from Jordan Peters and then just finished a little bit hard. So the rocks are kind of staggered now. Chance for a double here for Ryan Abraham, a run double.
It's pretty close. Still a nice shot, though.
Yeah, really solid shot to stick the shooter right there. That's kind of your plan B. You could get both of them with the run back, or you can sit right there and cause some trouble for Manitoba 2. And you can see Jacques Gauthier is called to draw just on top of that yellow stone. The Manitoba 2 rock is shot in the back 4.
Jacques Gauthier returning to skipping. He hadn't skipped for quite a few years, but when he was skipping in his early teens, his lead happened to be none other than Brett Walter, the man who is skipping Manitoba #1. One sheet over.
Feels like if you wanted to, you could just draw a giant web of Manitoba junior curlers and you could connect every single one of them pretty easily. So Manitoba 2 trying the plan B there. Jordan Peters just a little bit heavy on that rock, so they tried the last minute call to draw around the yellow. But again, as we said, these rocks finish so hard. Despite the great sweeping for Manitoba 2, they just get a piece of that top yellow, and this is going to allow for a fairly, I think it's fairly open here for Tyler Smith to make the double and roll.
Tyler, 21 years old, an owner-operator of Smith Customs and Fabrication. He works a lot on custom cars.
Cool.
Also is a stock car racer back on the island.
Tyler seems way cooler than me or you.
Combined.
Yeah.
Our coolness quotient doesn't come anywhere close.
21 years old, own my own business. I make custom cars. I drive stock cars. Oh, and I'm really good at curling.
That's going to be trouble to get by that guard. I think, oh my. I didn't think it was possible to miss that on the low side.
No, me neither. I thought pretty much all he had to do was make contact with that red one.
Yep.
So Jacques Gauthier making the same call here. He's just going to try and freeze onto that top yellow.
It'll come up.
With having hammer, Manitoba 2 doesn't have to be in a rush to get second shot here. If Gauthier is able to freeze on top of this yellow, he'll have a good shot for 2 with his last one.
This turn, even if he makes it, I'll have a top, right? He plays the top. Let him know if I'm heavy out of my hand or if he's not. Yeah. Sorry. Not heavy.
4. Line's good.
Chance to get on top of that Prince Edward Island stone, but
Felt okay. Easy.
Where are you?
Line's good.
Yep.
Weight should be pretty close. That's 15-7.
Lock it on, lock it on.
Should be about 15-5 to the line right now. It's a really nice shot.
That's some precision shooting right there.
So as we said, but
Okay. Can't we? I think we need, that's pin, right? Right about there.
Okay.
So we probably need here,
Yeah.
like that?
Yep.
so with Gauthier putting that rock there, it forces Tyler Smith into a really tight draw to get on top of that red one. And that's what happens by Gauthier making this freeze. He's opened up a possible multiple score of
He got
2
by
or
that
even
corner
3
by
if Tyler
like a
Smith
good
doesn't
foot.
make this.
So we should be able to freeze his back red. Same as the first then.
So an early tester here for Tyler Smith.
Okay, line's good.
Line's good. Easy.
Room,
Line's
easy.
good.
Easy, whoa.
Line's good. Line's
Ryan.
good.
Ryan.
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 Line's good.
Hey.
Line's
Lowry and Fleming going
This
to
is
work on
going to be
this.
close.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
It's a little light, I think.
Hey, get it past it.
Whoa. That's terrible.
Well, chip it off.
Oh man, worst spot to put us.
That looks like
Worst
a
spot.
3-ball potentially if he hits it on the nose, John.
Yeah, as Tyler Smith said, that is virtually the worst spot you could put it, because what it does is it allows Gauthier, as long as he makes contact with this top yellow, both of those PEI yellow stones are leaving the rings.
Control. Air high.
So for Gauthier, the key here is just to,
Make sure
as
the two.
the key here is to stick the shooter. That's where you get the 3rd point from.
Yeah, I agree. Good control.
Lead.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
No, Brady.
Zach. Zach.
Seeing if they can get it to curl a little. And Tyler Smith of Prince Edward Island was on his way to the other end before that rock came to rest. He knew what was about to happen, as it is a big 3 for Jacques Gauthier.
Yeah, just one of those unfortunate things for Tyler Smith. Didn't even really play a terrible end by any means, just got a little unlucky on his last one. He took a little bit of a wider track than Jacques Gauthier did on his first one, and sometimes when the ice is curling that hard to the middle, you'll actually see rocks, despite taking more line, finish harder than rocks that have less line. It's just, I don't pretend to understand why that happens, but it's the physics of a curling sheet. And I think that's just what happened to Tyler Smith there. He put the broom in what was probably the right place, but just a hair light, wasn't able to get it past that top one as it finished in there extremely hard. And Jacques Gauthier able to take advantage, utilizing that nice control weight we've talked about. Teams really utilizing that on this arena ice. You don't have to throw a ton of weight with these rocks. They got very narrow striking bands, a lot of action off the rocks, and Jacques Gauthier with a nice control weight hit. Makes them both go away for a nice crooked number.
Jacques Gauthier, of course, will be keeping his focus 99.9% on his own game against Prince Edward Island, but there is going to be a 0.1%, I'm sure, that we'll be looking over at Sheet A as the Manitoba women are playing Northern Ontario, and of course Jacques' girlfriend Carly Burgess playing for Manitoba. Zach Balaka, 18, the youngest member of the team. You may remember his brother Brendan played for JT Ryan and Jacques Gauthier when they were at the New Holland Canadian Juniors in 2017 and 2018.
I like this here again from Tyler Smith. Line Ryan Lowry's first rock, called corner guard, comes into the house. Balaka hits it, and Tyler Smith, knowing we've got the 5 rock rule here, taking advantage and throwing another guard despite the fact that there's 2 Manitoba Stones in the house. I like this. It's an aggressive call and one designed to generate offense. So Smith obviously not afraid of the 3 on the board, looking to get a couple back himself. Also have to give a shout out to Ryan Abraham's green shoes. Anyone who matches shoes to shirts gets a big thumbs up from me.
Ryan Lowry, by the way, an energy system engineering tech student at Holland College, but what makes his bio amazing and what makes him my best friend is that he helps, he's a lobster fisherman in the summer. He helps on a boat fishing lobster, and I'm just saying, I like lobster.
That makes 2 of us, Al.
So somehow we could make that work.
A very PEI job, if there ever was one. Oh yeah, I'm from PEI. I curl and I fish for lobster. Oh, is that right?
Jake Fleming now with the hit attempt and looking to remove a little bit of that red granite, but put this shooter in a favorable position as well. Like to get a roll, but we'll stay in the top 12. It's like Manitoba 2 sitting a couple there.
Yeah, with that last shot, less about the double or triple and more about making the roll. Unfortunately, Jake Fleming doesn't quite get it. And this is going to allow Manitoba 2 a chance to sit 3.
By the way, I got to give props to this Manitoba 2 team, John. We asked all the teams to send us information about the players, and these guys provided information and provided humor.
Perfect.
They,
those are my kind of guys.
The note about Braden, in addition to the puppy story, which is world class, they also suggested that he's managed to find a very nice young lady as a girlfriend whose only flaw is not knowing anything about curling.
Some might say that's a positive.
Listen, I was thinking that.
Fantastic shot from Jake Fleming.
Oh, great roll, great leave there. Couldn't ask for much better, actually.
Yeah, it rolled a little far because this is going to give Manitoba 2 a chance to come around on the outside, but this is not always easy to get around a corner guard on the outside of it, so a nice throw from Jake Fleming. But yeah, the only way you'd like to make that a little better is just roll a hair less so that this shot isn't available for Jordan Peters.
Will it get by that top guard? It does not. It crashes hard. And does it spill the PEI stone on? It will be swept out, but
that's what I said before the shot, Al. You know, when you're looking at it at home, you see a wide open rock, and you don't think it's that tough. But the optics of it in the hack, when you have a corner guard there and you have to come on the outside side of it, there's just something about that for the shooter's eye when you're in the hack that is that's tough. And you could see that with Jordan Peters. I mean, he got a big piece of that corner guard.
Well then.
Wine's good.
That's an example of something Bill Sherhart was talking about today. A lot of teams might draw open side, but the best you're going to get out of that open side draw would be a deuce. The corner guard still keeps the 3 in play, but this has got to stop.
Yeah, this looks heavy. They got to get this past it.
Keep going.
You never want to leave an easy double.
Whoa.
I don't think there's an easy double there.
I mean, this is a pretty easy double if Jordan Peters can make this run back.
There it is there, yeah.
I just meant more that if it doesn't tick that yellow and you get it by, then that's okay. But yeah, if you end up right beside it, then it leaves not only the chance for Manitoba to make the double, but also to lie 2.
Yes. 3.
Good.
Jordan Peters, by the way, among his many achievements, he loves Fuego Takis chips. You know, they're pretty blazing hot. Apparently he can finish a bag in 10 minutes. And he
that's
can
not
make double
correct.
takeouts for fun.
That's not right. Shouldn't be like that. But I was young once too, Al.
Yep.
I think if I ate a bag of Fuego Taco Takis in 10 minutes,
Hey, what's the roll? What's the roll?
I'd probably need a day off.
That's jammed. Roll to the middle, but it's going to be Manitoba sitting 2 after this throw.
Yeah,
Gauthier.
just been the wrong side of the inch for Team PEI so far. No huge blatant misses, but unfortunately when they're missing, they're putting the rocks in exactly the wrong spot. Tyler Smith's last one an example of that, and Ryan Abraham's first one the same.
Yeah, they're hanging, but they're still coming up at the end, so control.
Yep.
It's clean. Easy.
Clean.
Zach.
Back a bit. Little roll.
So those rocks are dead even. It's going to take Tyler Smith both of his shots to have any chance at a blank here. He's just going to try and roll over towards that red stone and either force Jacques Gauthier into leaving his rock in a position where a double will be easy, or to make Jacques Gauthier have a short run back that he could potentially miss. But where these rocks are lined up, even if Tyler Smith was to get behind that red one, it'd be pretty academic for Jacques Gauthier. So this is just about trying to preserve the blank for Tyler Smith.
Essentially needs both of his shots and maybe a half shot from Jacques Gauthier. Trying to keep that roll.
Roll.
Little itty bitty roll, but still going to be a hit to sit 2 for Jacques Gauthier.
Try here, let's wait.
Apparently Jacques is
Try
the
for late. I mean, those is still fine.
Jacques is the team navigator for the out-of-province trips and also responsible for picking, and I quote, truly awful team songs to be played when traveling from the hotel to the venue. Brackets, awful if you are 60 plus, that is. So I'm going to say that John Lund, the coach for Team Manitoba, might have had something to do with composing that note.
Yep. Whoa.
Not a big fan of Jacques Gauthier's taste in music, is what you're saying.
I'm reading into that.
I guess that's really the unfortunate thing. If you're coaching a team of juniors, you're a little bit at their mercy when it comes to music choices.
Same weight.
He knew the risk he was taking. He knew the risks. I think Tyler will take on the double here. Not a bad angle for it.
I'm not sure he's trying to double. You don't have to. He just needs to nose it for
Oh, of
one.
course, yes. That's.
Yeah. I'm
Pardon
guessing
me,
he's
last
probably
rock,
just
last
throwing
rock.
a control hit for one
They
here.
only allow them 8 rocks in the juniors. I thought there was 9 this end. So.
Clean. Yep.
Tyler Smith probably wishes there were
Clean.
9.
Clean. Just clean. Nice shot.
All good. So the open hit for a single, and Prince Edward Island is on the board, but will be Manitoba number 2 with a 3-1 lead in last rock heading into that 4th end.
It's a frustrating, it'd be a frustrating one to take if you're PEI, because you don't, if you get forced into one and the other team makes a lot of great shots and all you have left at the end of the day is a 1, then that's okay. But when you kind of get forced into one because you're on the wrong side of the inch, or you just don't quite get the rocks in the spots you want, that's when a 1 hurts a little bit more, especially after a 3. So the momentum is certainly in Manitoba 2's favor right now, so hopefully PEI can get things back on track here a little bit. They've, like I said, played really well, just wrong side of the inch on a couple shots, and Manitoba 2's been pretty much flawless so far.
Ryan Lowry, the left-hander, 2 sports star. He's represented Prince Edward Island in curling at the Canada Winter Games. He's also represented Prince Edward Island in soccer at the Canada Summer Games.
Damn, this PEI team, man. Really good, really impressive resumes, has to be said. And nice guard from Lowry.
Zach Balaka, by the way, played at the Canada Winter Games in curling last season in Red Deer and won a bronze medal with Team Lowen. Apparently, it is a running gag with the team. He is not allowed to talk about that for whatever reason. Not allowed to mention this accomplishment. So when he brings up an experience from the Canada game, apparently he starts out by saying, well, at the event I'm not allowed to talk about. So he's got
the
him
event
out.
that shall not be named.
That's right. It's like the Voldemort of curling events to Team Manitoba.
Well, as someone who has won a lot of silver medals himself, and you have a couple members of Manitoba too winning a silver medal last year, I can understand that. I can understand that you don't want to be reminded of other silver medals.
Trying to drag this Lowry delivery to get on top of the Manitoba 2 stone. Will just come up a little short. And the draw called to go open side. Reminder, this is the last round for last round of games from the preliminary round. Championship pool games will start at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific. Tiebreakers, if necessary, will be played at 9 a.m. And we can tell you there is a scenario where 4 games would be required. And if there are 4 games required, one of them will be on Curling Canada's YouTube channel. If not, if there are 3 or less, there would not be a televised game, as they will all be played over at the Curling Club to allow some work to be done on the ice surface here in the arena in preparation for the championship pool and the playoffs.
So you're crossing your fingers that you might get a morning off tomorrow.
Listen, I just want what's best for curling, he said, nodding his head.
Very diplomatic. We all want what's best for curling at the end of the day. That's true.
I've changed, John, because when I was a reporter, a sports writer, basically it was all about me. I really didn't care who won or lost. I just wanted a result that would produce great quotes from the winning or losing team and essentially have it over early so I could write the story. Not that covering the 2004 Brier final when Mark Dacey beat Randy Furby wasn't fun, when we basically had our stories written after the 6th end and had to perform surgery on them at the end of the 10th end. But listen.
I just did a tweet thread about that 10th end. One of the craziest ends of my lifetime.
Oh.
Fantastic.
We could do a whole show just based on that. One of the great ends of curling, up there with the 10th end of the 2009 Men's World Final in Moncton.
Yes. What if we just threw it through? It's always an option.
I am just going to say this once. I believe it was the right call.
Wow.
He just missed his last shot by a quarter of an inch. I believe the incorrect call was on second rocks when he could have been peeling and did not.
Wow, well, you and Kevin Martin should get together for a beer sometime. You guys might be the only 2 members of that club.
In fact, I was having a discussion, and I'm trying to remember it. Someone else agreed with me the other day, believe it or not. Someone
and
else
it was so monumental that you can't even remember who it was. So
I'm going to come
obviously
up with
their
that
opinion
name.
couldn't matter too much.
I'm going to come up with that name. Anywho.
Again, we're seeing here, it's just, it's been a bit of a struggle for PEI in this game. Again, just Jake Fleming on his draw, trying to either freeze on top of that red one or just corner around it, just wicks off it, giving Manitoba 2 an open hit, and then same thing here, trying for a roll behind those center guards and just noses it. So, as we said, that's been the story of the game so far. PEI not playing badly by any means, just coming up on the wrong side of those shots and not putting a lot of pressure on Manitoba 2 thus far. But as we said at the top of the game, they've been playing fantastic all week, and it's just a matter of time before that switch gets flipped.
I can't come up with the name, John. It was someone who had credibility.
That's pretty good.
And if it was you, anybody watching, email television@curling.ca, television@curling.ca, and tell me why I'm right. It was the good call.
Yeah, freeze it nice.
I can't remember the end exactly, but all I remember watching it back is that whatever Ben Hebert suggested was the correct call. I don't remember exactly what it was, but whatever
he just wanted to blast.
whatever he suggested was right.
Whoa, whoa. Wait only. Line's
Little
good.
bit line.
Yep, hard line.
So, back to the game.
Line's good.
This game.
Wait only.
Where?
I've always been dialed into
Take a
this
look.
game. Al.
Line's good.
You don't have to worry about
Line's
that.
good. Line's
Yep,
close.
hard line.
This looks good from Ryan Abraham.
Go bounce.
Hard.
Yep.
Whoa, Rue.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
This is that
Curl,
curling
curl,
turn.
curl, curl.
Curl it.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Nice shot.
Very nice.
We've been mentioning it all week so far, but
Good sweep, boys. Good sweep.
that clockwise turn on coming home.
No.
Has
Saying
been-
clockwise, that's
Yeah.
progress.
Oh, okay.
You were saying internal.
Well, I'm just
I
trying
hear
to do.
you.
I'm trying to do what's best for curling, Al.
High, even if you dead stuff it here, it's okay.
Yeah.
This might go.
But you're
like
saying
that.
it has curled
Might get
consistently
everything.
all week.
Yeah, I'm just
Just make
listening
two of
into
them
what they're
go.
talking about here.
One's fine though.
Like that out?
What?
You like out or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
2/3.
Okay, just trying to casual double run back here, get rid of all the yellows.
Yep. Whoa. Yeah. Whoa.
Pretty good try from Jordan Peters, but unfortunately for where that rock ended up, it's
You like the in or the out?
buried behind that guard.
It doesn't
and
matter. Out.
Okay.
PEI should be able
Control.
to split the house here. But Manitoba 2 has hammer. It just is now looking more like a
Just
force.
control here. I think you can hold this, Ryan.
There's a look at all of Tyler Smith's hearts and all the times he's been to this championship. That left arm must be
Yes.
heavy.
Yes. Hard, Ryan. Hard, Ryan.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep. Whoa. Curl.
Curl.
Roll it. Yep.
So that's a little plan B there.
That's not
The
bad
original
either.
call was to roll
That's
away
not bad, eh?
and split the house, but I didn't mind that call either. I was a little bit surprised that they weren't calling that in the first place to put a little more pressure on Manitoba. So this works out fine. They don't get fully buried. Jordan Peters will be able to see enough of this to take it out and roll away,
Yep.
but still a good result for PEI.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Close. Zach.
Whoa, never. Okay, roll away.
Yeah, Braden.
They were trying to get the inside flop, but now they'll
It's good.
take it the other direction.
Control weight.
Yeah, I like that.
Like there.
Yep.
Tyler Smith also has played at the
Roll under.
Canadian Mixed
We'll be above T this time, so.
2017 at Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, playing with Veronica Smith. Also
Stay
played
here
in
more.
2 Canada Winter Games, which is actually a pretty rare feat.
Yes.
4 years apart. 2015 at Prince George, skipped PEI. 2011 at Halifax, and he skipped PEI there as well.
Skipping in 2011, so he was like 12. It's
Yep.
pretty impressive.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Clean.
Close. Whoa.
Curl. Whoa.
Curl.
Curl. Curl.
Curl. Curl it. Roll, Ryan. Roll.
Whoa.
Whoa. Attaboy.
Really
Very
nice
nice.
shot from Tyler Smith. And force Gauthier into the run back.
Worried about the jam at the back, but that's, I think, the least of their concerns right now. They got to.
Well, and Gauthier is going to be throwing this with enough weight that most
On the
likely,
B. Hair low.
even if it comes onto the back, it should still
Just one nice
spill the yellows out. Great shot from Tyler Smith, though. I think he realized after Ryan Abraham rolled under, kind of by mistake on the second one, that that was the better call, and called it all the way on his, made it really good.
Yep. Whoa.
Whoa! Close! Yep!
Yeah!
Yep!
Yes!
Great try.
Good shot from Gauthier, but he does leave up a center guard here. So
Shoot. Whoa.
give a chance for Tyler Smith to maybe set up a steal.
I think we need.
Take a lot of ice. You don't need to fully bury it.
No, we just need to be half buried.
Yeah.
I think here.
Okay. I like that.
So the guard here is pretty high. So they know that Gauthier is likely going to be able to get to it no matter where they put it. Your main concern here is just not leaving Gauthier a double. You want to be second shot.
Yeah, like if we're top 4, you got to go to back 4.
Exactly. So that's
Cannot be
exactly
top
right.
4.
If they're top 4,
Okay,
then
so
that'll
either
give Gauthier.
top 8 or back 4.
That'll give Gauthier the double. That's exactly what we were just saying. So
As long as it's half buried, it's good.
doesn't have to be fully buried. That's not really the
The
concern.
same as my 1 and 2.
As Tyler Smith indicated, the same path he threw 2 ends ago. So we should be familiar with it.
Felt good.
Top 8's good, guys. Line's good.
Line's really good.
Just top 8.
Just need to be
Line's
second
good.
shot
Just
and
top
not
8,
set
just
up the
Full 8,
double.
guys.
Line's
Line's good.
good.
Where
Can't
are
be
we?
4 foot. Can't be 4 foot.
Just clean it. Jake's rock. Just top 8, guys.
15-2.
Okay,
I think this could be 4
Go
foot.
ahead.
Yep.
Go ahead, Jake.
No, that's
Oh,
good.
Yep, right up,
Yep,
right up,
yep,
right
yep.
up, right up, right up.
Yep.
Nice shot.
That's pretty much a perfect spot.
Good. Good sweep.
Great shot, Tyler.
Could have been a little deeper because this will allow Manitoba to pretty much all they need is a slight roll to get 1, but really nice shot from Smith and a great bounce back end from PEI.
Yeah. Well, good. Nose is close a little. Might need a little flop under, but yeah.
Whoa! Clean!
Whoa. Clean. Yep.
Yep!
Clean. Yep.
Yep! Yep!
Yep.
Hard!
Hard.
Took a little jump on them, but it will get the job done. So it is a single point and a force. Manitoba will take a single, and they will take a 4-1 lead into the 4th
Good
end.
hang,
Prince
guys.
Edward Island will
Good
have the
really
hammer as we go to the 5th. Busy night here as we wrap up the preliminary round, and let's take a look around at some of the other scores going on tonight, as there are implications all over the Langley of the Township of Langley here at the George Preston Recreation Center. In the other men's games tonight, we have on sheet B, you've got Alberta and British Columbia, the British Columbia champs. Hayato Sato taking a 3-2 lead on Alberta. Ryan Jakes lost a tough game this afternoon against the BC number 2 team, and it is BC in a 3-2 lead. A BC victory in that game would make no tiebreakers in their pool, and that would get BC number 2 into the championship pool and would eliminate Alberta. If Alberta wins, there would be a tiebreaker. On sheet C, it is Northern Ontario's Jacob Horgan playing Manitoba's Brett Walter. And a similar scenario there. If Manitoba wins that game, that pool is clean. If Northern Ontario wins, there would be a tiebreaker required, and it is 2-1 Northern Ontario playing in the 4th end, Manitoba with the hammer. And over at the Langley Curling Center next door, Newfoundland Labrador playing Saskatchewan. A very similar scenario to this game. Newfoundland Labrador coming in with a 5-0 record. Daniel Bruce playing Saskatchewan at 4-1. Skipped by Rylan Kleider. And it is a 2-1 lead for Saskatchewan playing the 4th end. Saskatchewan with singles in the 1st and 3rd ends. Newfoundland Labrador with the hammer in the 4th. In women's action, game on sheet A is Manitoba against Northern Ontario. Manitoba's Mackenzie Zacharias, 5-0 so far, playing Northern Ontario, and Kira Brunton. Northern Ontario needs to win to force a tiebreaker. If Manitoba wins, there will be no tiebreakers in that pool. And it is Manitoba taking 3 in the third end to open the scoring, a 3-0 lead. Northern Ontario has Hammer playing the fourth. Also here in the arena, it is Saskatchewan and the Ashley Tevenot rink playing Ontario's Sierra Sutherland. Saskatchewan at 4-1, Ontario at 3-2 coming into this game. And if Saskatchewan beats Ontario, there would be a tiebreaker. If Ontario wins, it will be clean, but it is Saskatchewan with a steal of 3 in the first end, a steal of 2 in the second end, and looking like a big lead so far. We're just seeing a score posted on that sheet. We can give you the update. 1 for Ontario in the third end. So it is a 5-1 lead for Saskatchewan in the fourth end. Saskatchewan with the hammer. And again, if Saskatchewan wins that game, there would be a tiebreaker required in that pool. And over at the Langley Curling Center is Nova Scotia playing Nunavut. Nova Scotia with a 4-1 record, skipped by Taylor Stevens, and they have taken stolen 2 in the first, taken 4 in the third, and it is a 6-1 lead over Nunavut's Sadie Pinkson. Nunavut at 1-4, Nova Scotia at 4-1. And in our sheet, John, it is a 4-1 lead for Manitoba after they took a single in the fourth end. And what's the game plan here for Prince Edward Island?
Well, Manitoba put both their rocks in the house. PEI was trying to get behind that corner guard, and it just didn't curl enough for them. So now Manitoba is in complete control of the front of the house, but PEI does have that corner guard up.
If you'd like to keep track of all the scores throughout the rest of this evening and throughout the rest of the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors, curling.ca/scoreboard, curling.ca/scoreboard. Looking at 3, Jake Fleming asked for a takeout. He'd love to roll it behind the corner too, I'd think.
I think they were trying to double.
Oh.
Just missed it.
Same.
Clean. Yep.
Same weight.
Clean. Jordan. 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 Keep going.
Another nice shot.
Good control weight there too, John. They could work with that, and
Absolutely.
sweeping had an effect, obviously.
Braden Payette having
I
a
think
really
that's
nice
his
game
shot.
so far.
Norm?
I think the best way to describe Manitoba 2's game so far is efficient.
How much?
Playing really quickly and making a lot of shots. And it's just, it's frustrating to play against. There's no question about it.
Yes!
Lots of weight.
Really hard.
That might have been turned in a little bit, I think.
I would think so, based on Tyler Smith's
Oh, yeah.
reaction.
Oh, man.
Never
Ow.
had a chance.
No.
He just dumped it.
Well, we were being polite.
So what Tyler Smith means when he says dump it is essentially when you're letting the rock go, you want to, when you put the curl on the rock, you want your hand when you're letting it go to be as straight as possible. That's what allows the curling rock's path to be the most true. And we were talking earlier about this ice being release sensitive and what happens
Mine's
when you put the curl on too much, when you pop it out. And that was an example from Jake Fleming of what happens when you do the opposite of that and you turn the rock
Wherever it stops,
towards the
no,
curl.
Braden. No, Braden.
And on this ice, whenever you turn the rock towards the curl, it really curls. And like Tyler Smith said, it just doesn't have a chance when you do that. There's no amount of sweeping or weight that you can throw that'll help it. PEI gets a bit of a break here. Jordan Peters' guard comes a little deep, and I think Ryan Abraham should have a chance at getting all 3 of these reds.
Blank.
I don't mind it either. Right now we're pretty stuck. Sure.
This?
Yeah, hit and roll. Can we get all 3 of them? Okay. Just soft nose here. Try and get all 3. Yep. Gotta go. Hard, Ryan. Hard, Ryan.
Hard! Whoa.
It's good.
Hit 2 of the 3. Is not bad.
That's good. Good sweep.
Situation looks a lot better now for Prince Edward Island, but Manitoba still will have a chance to get another rock in the rings and sit a couple. Keep the force on.
I think they'll guard here, most likely.
Yep.
Lions like the same.
They'll want it a little bit higher than Jordan
Line's
Peters'
good.
last one.
Lions good. Braden. You gotta go, Braden. Hard, Braden. Whoa. It's good. It's good there. Attaboy. Really good.
Real good command to draw weight, and they
Great
clearly
spot.
have an idea of where to put the broom too, John.
What's that?
Absolutely, like I said, efficient. They've just made so many shots. They're, you know, when you in curling, you're always searching for consistency, and you know, Manitoba too hasn't been challenged too much, but part of this game is making the quote-unquote easy shots, and if you make the easy shots all the time, you put pressure on your opponent.
Jeez.
And that's what's happening with PEI, just getting frustrated. Manitoba keeps putting their rocks in the right place, and PEI just, as we've said from the start, just been a little bit on the wrong side of the inch here.
Still bullet quick, eh? Still
The guard.
like real fast.
Another guard being called here by Manitoba too.
Somebody brought their drum kit here, it sounds like. I'll give this to you, boys.
Yes,
Send
they
it in.
did bring a drum.
He probably knows them. He probably knows who brought it.
I actually think those are the. And looking at over there, I can see who it is. It's the BC #2 team with that drum cheering for BC1.
Yeah, they're selfishly cheering for BC1. I would assume that they're cheering for BC1 just in home province solidarity, but as you said, if BC1 wins, then they get into the championship pool, so a double reason to cheer for your friends. And Jacques Gauthier comes a little deep, and this is the opportunity PEI's been waiting for. This is a chance to put pressure on Manitoba too and get a
Never
deuce
thought I was
here.
heavy, guys. Sorry. It's
Then we can hit it a little thinner, get a little more
Yeah.
good control.
Okay. We talked about this a few times this week. The ice right now to get to T-line is about 15.7, which would be the fastest that these teams have played on all year. And you heard Jacques
control,
Gauthier say
make
in
the
the
double
hack
and roll.
that the ice is bullet quick. And it's an adjustment. Every shot you have to be thinking just how light it is. And it's really tough to throw guards on, especially because it feels like you're not even sliding. You just kind of fall out of the hack and hope for the best. So Tyler Smith now with a great chance to hit and roll behind those guards and put some pressure on Manitoba too.
Yep.
hey,
Yep.
hey, hey, Ryan. Whoa.
Yep. Get it over. Okay, good shot. Oh, sorry, guys.
Doesn't roll as far as they would have hoped,
sweep.
but it does get the double, which will open up the blank for PEI. Jacques Gauthier makes this double. He might be able to roll his rock into the house, but it'll be wide open for Tyler Smith to blank.
I'm gonna throw this one like normal peel. So you guys can back it up. Whoa. Get out.
Whoops. And there is an error from Jacques Gauthier,
I
a
just
rare
throw it all
error.
away.
That's pretty much the first big mistake that Manitoba 2's made this game.
I didn't mind that throw. I think I just needed negative ice there.
You heard Jacques Gauthier say in the hack that he was just going to throw normal peel and allow the sweepers to back it up,
Okay.
which means that the rocks with that peel weight are running extremely straight. And you heard it again there when he came back to talk to Jordan Peters, said he liked the throw, but he almost feels like he's got to take negative ice, meaning you put the broom inside where you want to actually hit the rock because it will fall off of where it's let go. So we'll see if the teams can make an adjustment to that in the second half of the game.
I gave it some
T-line, line's good.
Just need to touch
Ryan's
paint
always in.
for the deuce.
Line's fine.
Line's nice, clean it.
That's 14-7, should be all there.
Just what the doctor ordered for Prince Edward Island. And that will take us to the fifth end break. Manitoba with a 4-3 lead, and they will have hammer when we return for the sixth end in just a few moments.
That has to be the most Canadian thing I've ever seen.
Well, maybe if he was also eating a poutine.
Whoa. And drinking maple syrup.
And he's also a curler.
Guys, you know I've never actually been curling before.
And you call yourself a Canadian?
I'm sorry.
There's more than 1,000 curling facilities in Canada. Be a good Canadian and find one near you today.
Before there was ice, there was our hallway at home. I was always the shy, quiet kid who loved math. But when I saw math come alive in the geometry of the game, I found my passion and my voice. It's a game of precision, a game of inches. It's the equation that now defines who I am.
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We're a team now, like the four of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
Curling! The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, two teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
One might say I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, And at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
Welcome back to the George Preston Recreation Center in the township of Langley. Sixth end action in this men's game between Prince Edward Island's Tyler Smith and Manitoba 2 Jacques Gauthier. Prince Edward Island with an unbeaten record. Manitoba 2 coming in with a 4-1 record. I'm Al Cameron from Curling Canada, joined by our color commentator John Cullen. John, it has been an interesting first 5 ends of curling, and let's put you in the coach's position. What would you have been telling these teams during the 5th end break? And let's start with Manitoba's John Lund.
Well, I think, it's pretty cliche, but I would imagine John Lund is telling him to just stick with it. Unfortunately, Jacques Gauthier had that miss on his last one in 5, and sometimes when you give up a 2 that maybe you feel like you shouldn't have given up, especially heading into the 5th end break, you can that can affect your momentum.
That card's not great.
So I'm sure John Lund would just say, hey, listen, that's just one shot. Doesn't matter. We're controlling the game. We're playing really well. And let's just keep it up. And it's a cliche for a reason. I think the Manitoba 2 team's been playing great. As I said, been playing very effectively, very efficiently. And I think that John Lund would tell him to just keep doing what they're doing.
Meanwhile, Phil Gorviat, the coach for the PEI team, imagine that deuce in the 5th end definitely made a difference in terms of the tone of that discussion.
Absolutely, yeah. And like we said, PEI, a great team. They've been playing well, just been on the wrong side of the inch of a few shots. So I think probably the talk from Phil Gorviat's just really saying, hey, listen, hey, boys, we know we haven't gotten off to the start we want to. We got a nice little deuce, got a bit of a gift there. So now let's just build off of that. Now, I think when you have something good happen like that right before the fifth end break, it's easy to come back into the game and think, okay, we can sort of throw away that first 5 ends when we struggled a bit, and we can really get it going.
Hard, guys.
I think this is going to be a really good second half of this game.
Okay, whoa. Okay, Doc.
And there's that turn again. Our friend curls more and is a little bit slower. And we see Zach Balaka come up a little short there as a result.
We were at the gear at one point.
Wait, guys.
Line. Yep. Line's good.
Jake Stad-Paul, having played in the
Line's good.
Tim Hortons Brier on 8 occasions, most recently in 2018. And one of the all-time good guys. Certainly makes the all-time Brier good guy all-star team with a guy like Jimmy Cotter. Won the Ross Harstone Trophy twice. And that is the player-voted sportsmanship trophy, of course.
Yeah, we've got a few BC boys who have won that.
I mean, we could make this really good.
To me, one of the most impressive wins of the Ross Harstone is by Brian Mickey in 2000, as they won the Brier, and he won the most sportsmanlike. And you don't see that happen too often. Usually the most sportsmanlike is sort of a consolation award. You don't generally see people focusing on the teams who are winning and giving out the sportsmanship award. So
Line's good.
that one to me always stood
Line's
out.
good.
Brian Mickey, 2000
All
Canadian
you.
world champion, and his son Joshua, of course, here playing for BC1. Brian, the co-coach of that team.
Lots of room. Running like you're hot.
Looks like we're going to have some action in this end as PEI comes a little deep around that center guard. And now Manitoba doing the same. Haven't seen too many draws on that side of the sheet come heavy.
And even then, you know, in a tense game like this, those guys are smiling down there in the house. Tyler Smith and Jacques Gauthier. Like we said, they've played each other an awful lot. And, you know, one of the great features at the New Holland Canadian Juniors, of course, is the Players Lounge at the hotel. And, you know, there's typically a ping pong table in there and lots of couches, lots of chances for all the players to socialize. And kind of the team jackets go out the window. They're all friends, they're all buddies in that Players Lounge at the Canadian Juniors.
Larry. Yes, hurt.
Yeah, sometimes the Players Lounge gets a little too friendly. And that's how we end up with Carly Burgess playing for Manitoba.
Well, 2017, that's where Jacques Gauthier and Carly Burgess did meet, and here we are 3 years later. The relationship has blossomed, and Carly is now living in Manitoba.
Really nice shot from Jake Fleming, and Manitoba 2 forced to peel here.
Yep.
Braden Payette's been pretty money on these big weight shots so far.
Whoa.
Oh,
Whoa.
Just missed.
One of the all-time great Players Lounge stories took place at the Stratford New Holland Canadian Juniors 2016 Quebec Stip. Felix Asselin was playing table tennis and somehow found a way to separate his shoulder.
Okay.
They had to take him to the hospital, get it reset. Next day he shows up, skips his Quebec team with his arm in a sling. They had to have an official reapply the sling every time he had to go throw the rock. But other than that, he skipped with one arm immobilized and skipped his team to victory to get into the championship pool. I'll always remember that.
Line's really good.
Gotta feel bad if you're the team he beat.
Line's really close.
Exactly.
He couldn't beat a one-armed skip.
Meanwhile, there's the rare location, the rare time when you see a rock on the hog line and it's in play.
Yeah, the rules state that if a rock hits another rock and is touching the hog line, it is allowed to stay in play. So that's why that one will remain on the hog line for the rest of the game.
Unless, of course, it's removed.
Correct.
And even if it's a nose hit and the rock that hits it, it stays outside the hog line, same principle applies.
Which would be fun. You don't see that too often. So
I
I'm kind of
know.
hoping Jordan Peters knows this.
So am I. I'm not going to lie. Yeah! Good chance here. Yes. All right. History made.
And a nice shot from Jordan Peters as well. PEI still in control, though. Their first shot for sure. I'm not sure about second shot. Tough to see from the overhead angle.
On top of that other yellow. I'll definitely give it to you guys, though.
Yeah.
Line's good.
Close line. Yep.
Line's good. Wait only, guys. Wait only.
Line's good.
I think you got to go.
Room.
Yep.
Room.
Hard line.
Line's good.
Hard line.
Hard.
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 Hard, Jake.
Hard, Jake.
Hard. You gotta go hard.
Whoa. That's pretty good, too.
Good shot. Sometimes the best guard is inside the house.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
And those rocks are staggered perfectly.
Take this. Or we do that again.
Please do that again.
Oh my goodness, I would love
You missed
this.
it low. You could even come in off this.
I don't think that's the right shot, but I want to see it selfishly.
They're only shot one right now.
Okay, so there we go. We get the confirmation from Jacques that they're
What
only
are you
sitting
seeing,
one.
Jordan?
We feel he's guarding, right?
Yeah? They don't have the run. It gets bad if we play this and you pick this first. That's a disaster. What call time? I don't hate it.
Manitoba 2 calls a timeout. A couple of the options they were discussing, Jacques Gauthier's original call was to hit that red rock that's at the top of the forefoot, the one that's further back, and roll to the wing to try and stack some more red rocks in the house. But as he said, the problem if you do that is if you ever chip off the top rock, you're in huge trouble.
Not even in play.
No, I know. It is makeable. You just threw it.
The other option is the run back.
If you hit it low, too, you can come off that red.
John Lund.
We'll see what John Lund has to say.
If that wasn't frozen, if that was like top 8, it'd be a lot better. You could just throw a peel at it and whip it out.
That was my point. And hit the one you can see.
Yeah.
Double us out.
Yeah.
Because if you don't hit that, they're going to tap it up and like.
Yeah.
It's going to be in a little bit more difficult.
I just don't know. I'm not convinced if it misses it clean. That's all.
Well, whether it hits the red and goes up, whether it goes out or not.
It's got to make something like that.
It's not chasing. Yeah. So we don't like playing it soft and just blow like normal at it.
What if we kill the guards, we can throw the run?
Yeah.
And get.
How is he still more than one right now? He's got to loop something in there, right?
In off or something. That's why I don't mind.
That's why I don't mind.
If you make, you don't feel it's on those kind of rocks there. If you miss the run, it makes a better guard, and then it's lost when he plays a top or something. Well, if he makes a better guard, we can just triple it anyway.
Yeah.
You can probably get around that if you have to. If you get one of those two yellows in the middle, you got room to go around.
I don't hate the red. Well, I'll take a look at it and we'll call something.
Timeout discussion
Purposely play it into that yellow.
didn't necessarily yield a determination.
It should go over the top. I don't mind this double. I like throwing it hard because if you ever click this first, you can get all 3 if you throw it hard. So normal or firm? Doesn't matter to me. Firm? Normal? Normal. What are we playing here? Normal. Okay.
So originally Jacques wanted to play this, but with like control weight to save the shooter, but he was nervous that if they ever just kind of skinnied that top yellow, that PEI would have 3 rocks all in the front of the button. So now by throwing peel weight, even if you hit that top one first, it's not a disaster.
Whoa.
Looking for the double.
Yep. 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 Hard. Hard.
And makes it. Great shot.
Double and held the shooter in a good spot too.
Fantastic, yep. So now Manitoba 2 lying 1, but PEI will have a good chance to freeze here.
Definitely changed the complexion of the end.
Big time. That was a massive shot from Jordan Peters. To make it clean like that and get the shooter in a good spot was huge.
Just freeze the red.
Sometimes that's what taking a timeout is all about. They didn't necessarily arrive at the call from their coach. But once they made it, it's a chance to mentally reset and get focused for the shot, and Jordan Peters made a beauty. Tyler Smith looking for the freeze here.
Jake in. Wait
Line's
over here
good.
now. Line's good.
Room.
Got room.
Where?
Tons of room. Tons of room. Tons of room, guys. Whoa. Gotta wait.
Looks heavy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah.
Whoa.
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 That was 14-6, about a full second heavy. Now Manitoba. One good thing for Tyler Smith with where that rock ended up is it's going to be really hard
We could just play the same thing he was playing.
for Gauthier to get rid of it and make that outside one count.
I could play that.
You can play with control even.
I don't hate that. It's just not good if you jam it here, Jordan.
You gotta make that. It's so.
What are you seeing, babe?
Jock. He can't draw here. We can hit it any which way.
It's not terrible.
If he goes around this
so-called
center.
Is this ever a dumb call?
This one here. I don't like playing at this one right now with this. I don't like it at all.
That's why I don't mind playing off the 2 and 6.
It should go over the top of it.
The only thing is if you miss that, he's trying the same thing.
Well, either way, if I miss something, he's going to
If you
play
straight jam this into here.
My first thought was playing this.
What's he doing?
My first thought was playing this because then he's going to try wrapping here.
Right here?
We could. It's just if we bounce off, it's terrible. I don't hate this call.
I don't mind trying to do something.
I don't either.
If we do make this, he doubles back, he jams, he knows for 2.
It's not gonna jam.
What?
It's not gonna jam.
I think it's either the freeze or the double.
This is almost nothing.
This brings 3 back into play for us.
I think this does too, but
I just hate this. Because if you ever do this, or even this, it's still not good because then he's playing the same thing and there's no rock guarding it.
That's not
right now,
rock.
this is helping us almost.
I think that's this 6 is almost guarding our 3, unless he plays the intern.
It's the freeze or the double, Jordan.
Okay, up to you.
What are you seeing?
I told you what I saw. It's up to you.
I think I like this.
Okay.
Sometimes when your skip
quarter
gets
off.
talking a lot,
Okay.
you
Only
just say,
it's gonna
hey,
curl.
listen, I can't give you any more info.
Hey.
You're the one who's throwing it. Get in there and throw it. So the double is
You like
called,
this?
and the reason that Gauthier would call this is to attempt to bring that red rock that's in the 8-foot into play for a potential 3, or even make it count for a 2 later on. Ideally, you'd make this double and stick right there.
I like the freeze, Jordan.
I was just about to say,
Freeze,
the only
that's
thing
all
is,
power.
Yeah, even if I'm light, I'm light.
if you make it,
Yeah, I think freeze the yellow.
Tyler Smith has the exact same
Yeah, I like
shot,
this more.
and you almost can't get rid of it. So
Yeah, it's going to be close for ice.
it's taking a lot less ice than Tyler Smith took in
Sure
the
is.
same
Same
spot.
way as last time.
I didn't think PEI's ice was that bad. It was just the weight was.
Top 8's good.
Absolutely.
Lots of room.
Gonna have to watch
Lots
this.
of room.
Mine's
I
fine.
think you're coming here.
Looks close. I think you're just freezing, guys. Just freeze it.
Yep.
Just freeze it. No
15-5.
bounce.
Lots of rotation on that stone
Where?
too.
No.
So
Yep.
Jacques Gauthier
No, no,
knows
no,
his
no.
delivery.
No.
No.
And it overcurled again. We've seen how many rocks overcurl in that spot.
Didn't need to be sweeping that.
Now there is a bailout shot available to PEI here. Is the double there, John?
There's no way there's ever.
It's
He's not playing the double.
Right.
it's tough.
Play this.
I'd have to see it from the overhead, but I think it is there.
Just nice peel, and we need probably.
Oh yeah, it's there.
What do we want to hit? We want to
Easily.
hit half.
You might lose your back yellow. That's
Big
the main
half.
concern.
Yeah. That's a force.
But even then, that's one less shot for
This is a
Manitoba to
force.
use too if they
Yeah.
hold the shooter in that
This
spot
is
up
a
top.
deuce.
This one shot over this, so if we tap, we're pretty much
We're
giving
playing
them
this.
2.
We're playing this shot.
Yeah, I like it.
Intern peel, half a rock, good half.
Yep.
I think we need here.
So Tyler Smith
Like that?
looking
Yeah, I
to
do.
cross the face of this one.
It's like I'm not whipping it.
No, just
As I say,
thick half.
main concern here is just to not move your yellow one at the back of the
Make the
house,
double.
because you're going to lose your shooter. And if you move that yellow, it would bring that red rock in the 8-foot into play for a 2 for Jacques Gauthier.
And there's that guard. We did not expect it to come into play, but there it was, John.
Came out of nowhere.
That's a tough miss.
I could have if the guards were. Oh, shit. I didn't even see that.
I don't know.
That's that curling
I don't
turn.
know if this will get shot though.
And we've
I throw,
seen
like,
even
back
with
line, I think it's
even with
there.
hit weight, it does curl more in that
I
spot.
like it.
Tyler Smith might have turned it in a
looks
little bit
tough,
too.
but
I don't know if this is shot over it though.
It does. Well, I think it is.
Either way, we get 2. That's fine, right?
It's really close. I mean, I could have just played the tap. There's why. If we're not sure we're gonna get 3 out of it, which we play the tap, there's just less risk,
Same
right?
weight.
Yeah. We take like the same ice. I'll throw like a pound more
We
weight.
can probably hurt ourselves more with this.
Right, and we got to get close.
We can over curl that.
We got to get close to the guard, and if I'm ever wide, we can jam it in, right? Same ice, I'll throw a pound more weight.
You're pretty
Or they
good.
can even just sweep
You
it,
touch
right?
it like this
yeah.
much.
Same way, you just sweep it. You only need to tap it like 3 inches. Yeah.
So there's the call. Manitoba will just try and promote their third shot
Yeah, I
into
like
the
this
4
call.
foot.
If we're not sure that's
Get
going to
the
get us
deuce.
3, there's no point in taking the risk. Yeah, I agree.
Agree with everything Jacques Oche is saying here. And he
Okay,
just
same
threw
way.
this, so he's going to feel comfortable with the draw weight. All he's got to do is tap that red a foot for 2.
Same way. No more room. Way up you
Mine's
can.
good.
Go up you can, guys.
Yep.
Go up you can.
Go ahead. Hard, guys. Hard.
Going to have to go on this.
Line's good. Keep going.
Weight should be good.
Line's great.
15-5.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Hard. Keep going. Keep going.
Yep, that'll do it.
Great scrub by that front end of Manitoba. Braden Payette and Zach Balaka, they drag it in for the second shot, and it will be a deuce for Manitoba, and they will take a 6-3 lead into the 7th end. A reminder that the winner of this game will finish first in the pool. And a reminder also that both of their records will carry through into the championship pool. Well, we got a moment. Let's take a look at the other games in progress tonight as we wrap up the preliminary pool. Men's games here in the arena. Alberta, Ryan Jakes puts a big 3 on the board in the 5th end and takes a 5-3 lead on BC number 1. A reminder that if BC 1 wins, that eliminates Alberta and clinches a spot in the championship pool for BC 2. BC 2 already in a tiebreaker position regardless, but they would love to get in there clean. Also on the center sheet here, sheet C, it is Northern Ontario's Jacob Horgan taking on Manitoba 1, skipped by Brett Walter. A Northern Ontario win would force a tiebreaker. And it is Northern Ontario in a 3-1 lead playing the 6th end. 1 in the 3rd and then a steal of 1 in the 4th. And it is Manitoba number 1 with the hammer playing in the 6th end. And over at the Langley Curling Center, Newfoundland Labrador, skipped by Daniel Bruce with a 5-0 record taking on Saskatchewan's Ryland Kleider, 4-1. And it is a 2-2 tie playing the 6th end. Newfoundland Labrador taking 1 in the 5th. So Saskatchewan has last rock. Women's games tonight. Northern Ontario, Kira Brunton needing a win to get into a tiebreaker, taking on unbeaten Mackenzie Zacharias in Manitoba, but it is a 4-2 lead for Manitoba, which took 1 in the 5th end. Northern Ontario has the hammer in the 6th, trailing by 2. Saskatchewan and Ontario. Saskatchewan's Ashley Teveno taking on Ontario's Sierra Sutherland, and a Saskatchewan win means there would be a tiebreaker. And Saskatchewan with a 6-5 lead, but Ontario just taking a big 4 in the 5th end to cut into that lead. So it is a 6-5 lead for Saskatchewan in the 6th end. Saskatchewan with the hammer. Also tonight over at the Curling Club, it is Nova Scotia. Taylor Stevens up 8-2 now with a 4-1 record, taking on Nunavut 1-4. 8-2 Nova Scotia leading Nunavut after 5 ends. So a reminder that if there is 4 separate tiebreaker games required tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, one of those games would be televised here on Curling Canada's YouTube channel. Otherwise, the 3 games, if there's 3 games or less, they would all be played over at the Langley Curling Center, so as to allow Mike Merkelinger's ice crew to work on this ice surface here at the Langley George Preston Recreation Center to get them ready for the championship pool and the playoffs to follow.
This is a big end for PEI. They had a pretty good 6th end. Manitoba 2 was never really looking like getting 2 until that last miss from Tyler Smith. So this is the end here where PEI's just got to get the game back on track, get a 2 back. You get a 2 back and you're not out of it.
But like you said, John, a pretty disheartening way for that end to get away. A stone that couldn't have been further away from the rings, and it came into play.
Yeah, that might have almost confused Tyler Smith. I don't think I've ever seen a rock that's technically in play that far away from the house.
Whoa, curl.
This looks like a nice shot from Jake Fleming here.
Good shot.
Good.
Got it, boy.
That yellow is going to be pretty tough for Gauthier to remove.
Just a reminder, you can get all the scores on curling.ca/scoreboard, curling.ca/scoreboard.
Oh, no.
A reminder that once we get those 8 teams into the championship pool, the 4 teams from Pool A would play 4 teams from Pool B. That would complete the round robin. Top 3 teams get to the playoffs. First place to the gold medal games, second and third play in the semifinals on Saturday.
Really nice, Braden.
Good peel from Jacques Gauthier. Well, from Braden Payette, but from Jacques Gauthier's team. But this will allow PEI to get another yellow rock in the house. And then it'll be a battle for PEI to make some of them count.
We're heavy.
Yep. Whoa. Real good.
Nice shot.
Yeah. Take the guard's not the end of the world, right?
Hack or board?
Board, probably. Yeah, we
But
can
it's gonna
roll
make
out,
it
right?
better. Let's just rip. No. Braden. Hard.
Now, a flash, and it opens a little glimmer of light through the door for Prince Edward Island.
Well, that's the danger you run into if you don't go after either of the PEI stones in the house. And you're up 3. And you're leaving a few rocks in the house, even though Manitoba obviously is shot 3. But Brian Abraham can put this behind the guard. Jacques Gauthier is going to have some decisions to make.
Easy. Wait only.
Ryan,
Ryan.
Wait only.
Hard then. Jake.
No, Ryan.
Hard.
Gotta curl.
Gotta curl. Hard.
You gotta go. Keep going. Hard.
It's in a good spot.
Good scrub by Prince Edward Island to get that there.
3/4. Board.
So Manitoba will be hoping that they can maybe get a little lucky and get both yellow stones out here.
Like in this, whatever it was,
like
first
this.
end didn't curl. Green. Whoa. Braden. Hard, Braden. Keep going.
Sit.
Good.
They don't make the double, but they make the angles pretty darn good. It's going to be tough for PEI to make these 2 yellows in the house count at any point.
You kind of need to get rid of some now. What about that back double and roll?
This?
Yeah, that's what I see. Yeah.
Control.
Okay.
As I said, after Jake Fleming's rocks, the rest of this end was going to be PEI needing to find a way to get these red rocks to go away and make these yellow hangers count. This is a huge shot from Ryan Abraham. If he doesn't make the double here, it's going to be pretty hard for PEI to Make those ones worth something.
Whoa!
Whoa! Whoa!
Curl! Hard curl!
Whoa! Jeez.
Come on.
Obviously, Tyler Smith recognizing that with the way those red rocks are positioned, and another one to come from Jacques Gauthier, it's going to be difficult for PEI to count 2 here.
Deuce, right? Want to make sure we force here. I think this is the best way to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
You think so, eh?
Out-turn control, right?
I don't mind the in-turn, because if we're wide, we might make the double.
Okay.
I think.
Board?
I think.
I like the board later.
Board nose is there, eh?
How's this?
So where your broom is should be close. They can hold it.
Yeah.
Jacques Gauthier, of course, won a
Board, roll this way.
World Junior Championship gold medal.
Just board, though.
In 2018, he was brought aboard as the alternate for his cousin Tyler Tardy to go to the World Juniors in Aberdeen, Scotland in 2018.
Yeah, this is a call you make when you're up 3. Jacques Gauthier is actually in a decent position to steal here, but you don't need to steal. It's not the priority when you're up 6-3. He just wanted to make sure that they force PEI to 1 here.
Hard! Hard!
It's a bit of scoreboard management as well. We talk a lot about in the back half of the game, trying to keep the hammer in the even ends. So by forcing PEI here,
well, we got to leave room for 2, right?
They would do that.
Can you put it T-line? I know he has that, but it's really tough. Like,
yeah,
T-line's pretty good.
Got a good stagger there available.
Make the freeze. If it bounces off, we can tap it. And if he
PEI
makes it,
could
then we
warp
have
one
room for
behind.
Okay. Absolutely.
I think we got to be right here. Shot, but right here.
Okay.
Because T-line, like if we're here, he just.
Yeah, I mean he has a quarter of it, but.
And I guess if
I think this freeze is probably easier than that quarter slash.
Okay, I'll put it right here.
Okay. Back 4 is fine too.
Okay.
So yeah, Jacques Gauthier would have liked to roll his shot so that they didn't leave this available. Tyler Smith should be able to get fully buried around that rock that's half in the top 12 with the way that this ice is curling. You could hear the discussion between Abraham and Smith about where they want to put it, but they figure that if they go back 4, it's a fairly easy run back for Gauthier on those 2 red stones on the right side of the house as you're looking at it. So this way, if they put it T-line, it forces Gauthier into making a freeze, and if he doesn't make it, then PEI could score what we call a skip's deuce.
Yep. Hard line.
Yep.
Gotta go line. Keep it out there, Ryan.
Hard, you gotta go line. Whoa.
Okay, well.
And when it's not going your way, it's not going your way, John.
Okay.
Yeah, that's tight and light.
Might have a quad for 2.
One of the combos we don't like to hear.
I don't know that he's got a quad for 2.
He doesn't with where that yellow rock ended up. I think they were thinking the yellow rock was going to end up right on the nose of that red, but
I still think that's tight. Like I don't think this is tight ice.
Now this is a bit of.
I'm taking that to the pin, so that should be enough.
This is a line shot for Gauthier here.
They're less than last time. Top 8, top 4. Yeah, I agree.
Obviously, if you're in the top 4, that's the best possible spot.
100%.
But as you hear Gauthier say,
I'll give this to you all day.
Top 12 even is fine
top
here.
4. Top 8's probably perfect.
Makes the draw path really difficult for Tyler Smith to get in on. So, as Gauthier said, top 8's perfect. Top 4 is not bad either, but even top 12 or guard, not terrible. Tight guard.
Felt good.
Top 8.
Felt good. Felt good.
Top 8, guys.
Felt nice. Make it good, guys. Make it good. Line's great. Line's great. Line's good. Top 4.
Line's
top
good
4.
right here.
Line's perfect. Line's perfect.
Yep.
Hard! Hard line. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Tough to get that wide. Good shot.
That was pretty good.
Perfect weight from Gauthier, but it just curls a little bit too much at the end. So Tyler Smith does have a draw to the forefoot, but it is a draw against 4. Yeah, too bad for Gauthier. As he said, it's tough to keep those rocks out there. The rocks kind of warp to the center almost regardless of where you put the broom. And that's what happened to him there. Absolutely perfect weight. You couldn't have walked the weight down there any better, but just didn't stay wide enough, and so it leaves Tyler Smith a draw to the forefoot to stay in this game.
Line's good.
Got room.
Room. Close. Where?
Close, yep. Line's good. Whoa, then. Whoa, whoa.
That's 14-5.
Hey, line's good.
Which might be a little hot.
Line's perfect. Shot, Tyler.
Oh, nice shot from Tyler Smith, right on the lid.
So it's a single point for Prince Edward Island, but it will be Manitoba 2 with a 6-4 lead and the hammer in the 8th end. Gives us a moment to talk about the Great New Holland Hay Tools giveaway. A chance to win big, really, I'm going to add a really to this, really, really big.
Really big. I'll even say it.
$550,000 worth of haymaking equipment and prizes could be yours by entering the Great New Holland Hay Tools giveaway. Weekly prizes are being offered between now and February 25th. And then on March 2nd is the grand prize drawing. A variety of huge New Holland farm implements, including the special edition Blue Power T6 180 dynamic command transmission tractor, valued at $250,000. To get more information and to get your entry in, go to newhollandgiveaway.com. That's newhollandgiveaway.com for the Great New Holland Hay Tools giveaway.
I'm going to win me one of those tractors, Al. I've decided. I'm going to enter the giveaway. I'm going to win a tractor, and I am going to sell it to a curler. That's my goal.
I think that's a worthy goal.
Thank you. If you're a curler listening to this and you want that tractor, I will offer a slight discount.
5% friends and family? That's nice.
Well, 5% is a little generous, but I guess it depends on who the curler is. We'll put it that way. It will be a very person-specific discount. All right, now I think it's safe to say down 6-4 without hammer. And knowing how aggressive Tyler Smith has played thus far, I'm imagining that this end we're going to see them go all out for a steal. This is one of those scoreboards where giving up 1 or giving up 5 probably feels about the same to PEI, so not going to be surprised to see them sell out all the way to try and get that steal here. I guess it's only the 8th end. You can give up 1 here, is not too bad, but I just think Tyler Smith's been quite aggressive so far, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Scored a report here in the women's game. A big steal of 2 for Ontario's Sierra Sutherland. Suddenly they are in a 7-6 lead over Saskatchewan's Ashley Teveno.
Wow.
A game, by the way, that Saskatchewan led 6-1 after 4 ends, but Ontario has turned that game around.
God bless the Canadian juniors. You're never out of any games here, that's for sure.
An Ontario victory would prevent a tiebreaker in Pool A. Ontario would go through to the championship pool. Clean.
Al, I have a little bit of an update for us. We were talking earlier about Felix Asselin from Quebec separating his shoulder playing ping pong and beating a team at the Canadian Championships, and that team was Tyler Tardy.
A young Tyler Tardy.
A young Tyler Tardy,
his
yes.
first trip to the Junior Nationals in 2016.
Yeah, he sent me a direct message and let me know that it was him who was one. I feel like this broadcast has been the 2020 New Holland Canadian Juniors and making fun of Tyler Tardy. That's pretty much been our MO here on this broadcast.
Dude's got broad shoulders, John.
He does. When you're the two-time defending world junior champion, I think you can take a few weights on those shoulders. And one of the favorites at the BC Men's Championship upcoming in Cranbrook in a couple weeks here.
Jordan!
Great shot.
Braden Payette's had a fantastic game here, Al. Manitoba, we know, long history of producing great hitters, especially at the second position. And Braden Payette, no exception. That Manitoba tuck delivery, looking like a young and spry Derek Samagalski out there. Getting all three out of the house. Fantastic shot and just a total deflator for PEI, who actually had the end set up pretty decent. But the one thing they'll like here is that they do have a center guard still available.
Wait's good, top 12.
Curl.
You gotta go.
Hard, you gotta go. Hard, keep going.
Hard. Wait's good.
Hard, keep going.
Now Manitoba gonna keep their peeling shoes on. It is the eighth end. We talk a lot about the importance of scoring in the even ends, and Manitoba would be thrilled even just to score one here, peeling their own rock out of the top.
Just for posterity's sake, John, we should note that it was a 9-5 win for Quebec over BC in that 2016 juniors. Felix Asselin over Tyler Tardy. A steal of 3 in the second end.
Wow.
With one hand.
What can we say? But BC was 7-3 at the time, so even though it was Tyler Tardy's first trip to the Nationals, he was having a pretty good go.
Whoa, guys, you're deep.
He did win a bronze medal. So.
Where?
I do remember that with Daniel Wenzik at third, and his longtime junior front end of his brother Jordan Tardy and Nick Meister.
Go, Jake.
Daniel Wenzik will be one of the people who'll be facing off with, I believe, at the BC Men's Championship.
Absolutely right. Wenzik with a retooled squad this year with Cameron DeYoung at third, and they've had a nice year on tour so far. Not that I've really been following. I'm retired.
If you jam it right on the nose, you might be shot.
Casual
it doesn't
observer.
really matter, though.
Exactly.
Peel. Just peel, it's fine, Jordan.
That
Put it in, like a third.
PEI Stone resting in a spot that should be a fairly easy double for Jordan Peters.
Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Ah! Whoa. Yes! Good.
A little bit of a break here for PEI. Tyler Smith will replace that center guard.
Interesting note, by the way, both of these Manitoba teams that are here in the township of Langley, Brett Walters' men's team, as well as Jacques Gauthier, they will be part of the Manitoba Viterra Championship.
Finish. Line's getting good.
Hard, Jake.
Line's getting good.
Well, don't they, in Manitoba, they let, like, what, 57 teams into provincials?
Hard, you gotta go.
Keep going.
The 57-team modified double.
Right, yes, exactly. Sponsored by Heinz.
Good sweep.
32 teams double.
Nice sweep.
some kind of modified double knockout that makes sense to everybody in Manitoba, and they look at you strange when you say you don't understand it. It makes logical sense.
I don't even pretend to understand it. I know sometimes I'll be looking at curling scores online, and I'll see like it'll say, oh, Manitoba provincial qualifier in some town I've never heard of in my life, and there's like 40 teams in the event. Like, oh, it's a little different than curling in BC out there in Manitoba, but Manitoba Provincial Championship, always one of the highlights of the curling calendar. We're obviously joking. It should be a fantastic championship, and lots of great teams in it. And as you say, both these really talented junior teams in it.
As will JT Ryan will have his own men's team in this.
John T. Ryan, you mean?
That's him.
Yeah.
February 4th to 9th in Winnipeg.
Whoa, they put it just in Winnipeg
now.
this year. Fantastic.
The Eric Coy Arena, as well as the Charleswood Curling Club, and the Charleswood, a legendary home of none other than Jeff Stoughton, played out of the Charleswood for so many years.
Line's good.
Not that heavy, is it?
Jake's always in. Jake, yep. Hard. Hard line. Hard. Hard. Hard, Jake, hard. Come on,
have to work hard to get this by.
Hard, Jake, hard. Yep.
That's that turn again.
Okay.
Real tricky, and now Jacques Gauthier is going to have a chance to lie a couple.
Well, I mean, Lada might have that. Okay. Nose, a hair inside. Nose board is good, though. Yeah, board. Yeah. Right on the beak. Right on the beak. Board, yeah. Yeah, I like board. I think so. He could try to spin double, but it's so hard to get stuff. Yeah. I'll should have something no matter what he plays. Just board.
Little off.
Oh.
Lead.
Whoa, no.
Yep.
Off. Braid it. Hard. Real hard.
Quick
shot
update
from
on
Gauthier.
Sorry about that, John.
No, that's okay.
No, really, I do feel bad.
Okay, I accept.
I think that's your only
quick
shot.
update on
This
the
is
women's
way
game.
too
Big
thin.
women's game over in Sheet A. Manitoba against Northern Ontario. Manitoba unbeaten, and that's
either that or
Mackenzie
here.
Zacharias taking a deuce in the 7th end
Make
to
'em
go
make
up 6-4 on Northern Ontario.
Two
Northern
is no
Ontario
good.
needing a win to force a
Two or
tiebreaker to
down
get into the
4.
championship pool.
So 2 or 3 doesn't really make a difference. So we might as well try this, right?
Yep. Yeah, I like that, Tyler.
So as you can see, this was sort of the discussion I was having at the start of the end.
Right.
Okay.
Tyler Smith feels that doesn't really matter if Manitoba scores 2 or 3, the game's probably over. So he figures they might as well go all out for the steal. He could run his yellow one back. It's a short run back and sit right there. If he does that, Manitoba would have a double for 2.
No difference between 2 or 3, so we might as well make him make a shot for it, right?
So Tyler Smith will try and get this in the back 4 and force Jacques Gauthier into a double run back for some points.
I think that weight was only like T-line, I think. I think same weight's close, because we want to be T-line, like back button.
Ryan's always in.
Little bit, Ryan.
Ryan.
Keep it out there.
Weight's good. Line's good. Line's good.
Hard line.
Hard line. Line's good.
Hard.
Line's nice.
Room.
It's 15 seconds, should be really close.
Hard, Jake. Hard. Hard, Jake. Period. Hard. Period. Hard.
Fantastic shot from Tyler Smith.
What a scrub from that front end, too, of Lowry and Fleming.
Yeah, just unfortunately, just didn't quite get the finish. They might have wanted to have Jake Fleming on it a hair earlier, as Gauthier will have the pick. This is by no means a gimme, but if he picks it out, it'll be for 2.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yes. Whoa. Squeeze.
And there it goes, and it is a deuce on the board for Manitoba. And we will go to the 9th end. Manitoba holding on to an 8-4 lead. Prince Edward Island will have the hammer in the 8th. And you can just see just a little bit disheartening for that Prince Edward Island team, John. And we know they are going to the championship pool. And I guess the challenge, assuming that things continue the way they are, is just getting back on an even keel in time for those final 4 games that begin tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that that shot from Tyler Smith has kind of been a microcosm of their night here. Tyler Smith throws essentially the perfect weight, and the rock just doesn't finish enough, and leaving it open for Gauthier to pick it out for 2. And I think that's just kind of been the story for PEI all night. I don't think they've had a particularly bad game, but I think Manitoba is a great team with the lead. Really good hitters, especially at the second position. Braden Payette's had a fantastic game, and Jordan Peters right behind him as well. So I think, the book on curling's never really changed. You tend to not want to get behind a Manitoba team because then they can just hit everything in sight, and that's what they've been doing very efficiently, very well. And for PEI, they've had their opportunities, and they've just the wrong side of the inch. It hasn't been like it hasn't been glaring misses, hasn't been anything like that we've seen from PEI. Just one shot here, one shot there that they would have liked in maybe a slightly different position that they just haven't gotten. And probably if you're sitting at 5-0, you've been making those types of shots all week. So at some point, the curling gods come for you, and that maybe feels a little bit like what's been happening to PEI tonight. But as you say, even if you lose, you're heading into the championship round with one of the best records in the field. Depending on what happens.
I just don't want to stagger this, that's all. I mean, we can try the quarter tick, but it's already so far out.
Depending on what happens in the Newfoundland-Labrador game, it could be tied for the best record in the championship round. So PEI will no doubt take a lot of positives into the
what else do you see in
next round.
Yeah. The only other thing is this, but let's just throw this one through.
They're up 4, so the discussion is whether they're going to throw it through or put another one in the house. And Gauthier is just nervous that if they try and come in the house, that they'll leave the rock staggered, which would give Tyler Smith almost like a pseudo guard at the top of the house. So by throwing it through, you eliminate that possibility.
I think that's a sign of respect, too, for that PEI team as well, is it not?
Absolutely. Yeah, no question about it. And you could see Tyler Smith and Jacques Gauthier kind of joking about that. But this will allow PEI to get a couple guards up. Yep. And when you're throwing rocks through the house, you're essentially conceding 2 to the other team if they make all their shots. So we'll see if Tyler Smith and PEI can come through and get a couple on the board and have a chance in the last.
You split them off, that's fine. This T-line.
Deep, top 4.
Easy line.
Yeah, back 4.
Yeah, you're running like you're through the house.
Men back 4.
Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Go through, I can go through.
I think you're through.
I could take that right out the back just so it's not usable in any way, shape, or form by Prince Edward Island. So that would have been the right way to miss.
Yep, absolutely. It's something you're always conscious of in these types of games. Not leaving rocks in places they can be used by your opposition.
Back far. T-line. Right on T. Yeah, curl.
Yep. Real hard. Hard, right till it stops. Keep going. Right, hard. Good one.
This is the way they wanted to start this end. Prince Edward Island, 2 corners up and 1 buried, and
Yeah, as we say, that's the way the 5 rock rule goes now. Once Gauthier put that rock through the house and allowed PEI to get those 2 corners up, it's looking like 2 if you make all your shots. But for Gauthier, they'd be happy to hold PEI to 2. See Tyler Smith replace it for now.
Take care. Yeah, I gotta go.
Line's good. Group.
Gotta go.
they're going to have to work to get that across, John.
Yeah, it looks pretty light.
And it looks like someone blew a tire there, too. Bits of shrapnel falling off.
Keep going.
Not sure if that's from one of the brooms or...
Whoa. Good.
Oh, I think, you know what? I think it was batteries from the camera microphone from the lavalier mic that was attached to the player. I'll have to get one of our production team to come out and see if they can fix that battery in the microphone pack for Abraham.
I don't mind peeling.
Get.
Possibility of a double. But if you do make the double, you're most likely still leaving a corner guard up, except it would be obviously of the Manitoba 2 variety.
Yep. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Hard. Good.
And that's exactly what happened.
Better.
Memo to the truck. It appears that Mr. Abraham has fixed the microphone satisfactorily. He's got the batteries reapplied. So maybe he's got a future in television production.
Well, we were talking about the resume of this PEI team before the game, or I guess during the game, I should say. So I'm not surprised. Smart guy.
Room.
Think you got
Room.
room.
Jake's
Wait only.
room. Jake. Wait only. T-line.
Trying to warp one in behind
Line's
that
getting good.
Yeah, go
Jake.
Jake.
Manitoba
Go, Jake.
guard.
Jake.
Hard, Jake.
Hey, Jake, gotta go.
Hard, Jake. Hard, Jake.
Hard, hard.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Space buried. Good sweep. It's too much ice.
What's that?
Too much ice.
Okay.
Good shot from Abraham, but wide open, as Tyler Smith said, gave him a little bit too much ice. So Manitoba Jordan Peters will have a shot at this rock. In the house.
Yep. Hard. Real hard.
Do not want to hit the guard here.
Keep going. Keep going.
Oh,
Good speed, man.
Goodness, wow,
you got to be good to be lucky. I don't know if that's lucky, but that papered by the guard. I'm sure Gauthier didn't want to get that close to it. You ever wick the guard there, and that brings 3 directly into play for PEI. So great sweeping from Payette and Balaka to get that one by that corner guard.
John, a quick update. We know there's a lot of Manitoba fans watching tonight, and good news from over on Sheet A, Manitoba.
Really hard.
Mackenzie Zacharias, a big steal of 3 in the 8th end, and they take a 9-4 lead on Northern Ontario as Manitoba looks to finish out a 6-0 round robin and get into that championship pool with the best possible record.
PEI had to stick that yellow rock in the house to keep their chance at 2 alive, and now Jacques Gauthier will be able to hit this one and It's going to be pretty darn tough for Tyler Smith to generate a deuce.
Northern Ontario, by the way, in that women's game, did need a victory to get into a tiebreaker, so that's looking less and less likely. Speaking of those tiebreakers, if there are 4 tiebreaker games required, and that was the scenario, potentially, if Northern Ontario could win that game, one of them would be here on YouTube, the Curling Canada YouTube channel, but if there are 3 tiebreakers or less, there will not be a televised game tomorrow, as the arena ice surface will be worked on tomorrow morning to get ready for the championship pool and the playoffs.
So this is about the only option for Tyler Smith to score 2 is to try and bury around this red rock that's in the top 8 foot. Not an easy ask because you also have to be shot, or at least second shot. And as you can see, those 2 red Manitoba stones not allowing a lot of margin for error. So the thing is, Tyler Smith could get buried here, but if he's lying third shot, all Gauthier has to do is just put a 3rd rock in the house and Tyler Smith will be forced to 1. So
try to get it half buried.
He's got to try and bury it, but also be at minimum second shot
Speed's
here.
still good.
Not easy. But Tyler Smith has been dialed in to draw weight all day. It's just been the line that's let him down on a few shots. So maybe we'll see a beauty here.
Line's not bad. Line's good. Close. Yep. Hard. 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 Hard.
It's a great plan
That
B.
is, yes, that worked out quite nice. It's still accessible, but I don't think it jams over there, John, either, does it? I don't think so.
Their only hope here is that Jacques Gauthier comes wide and sticks the yellow right there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But Gauthier's looked phenomenal on his hits here, and he throws a lot of weight, so pretty unlikely that that's going to happen. Oh, sorry, he's throwing the in-turn, so if he comes tight here, that'd be the only way that it would be a positive scenario for PEI. And there it goes. So PEI will draw for their 1, and being down 3 without hammer going into the 10th is not recommended.
Slim chances.
Probably
Indeed.
easier to steal 3 than get 4.
Well, there you go.
Isn't it? Not that it really matters.
I've enjoyed Tyler Smith's blunt assessment of the results in the hack before he throws his last shots.
Gave it a hair. I gave it a bit. Felt pretty good, guys.
(15-3) should be no problem. Nice shot from Tyler Smith. Oh.
Oh, Jesus, boys.
The 2 sweepers just sort of thought they were there and just let the rock come to a stop, and they didn't get their 1 by much in the end, even though that was pretty good draw weight from Tyler Smith. Just looked like it got into the slide path there and slowed down. But
despite the laughs, I suspect that's something that will be addressed. You can't take anything for granted.
Nope, absolutely not. I think there's no question that that's something that Philip Gorviat will probably talk about with the boys after the game. Even though you're down, you want to stay focused here. Even though you lose your last game going into the championship pool, you want to set some good habits, and that's what they'll try to do here in the 10th. Down 3 without hammer is a pretty impossible task. I don't have the stats on hand, but I would imagine the percentage chance of coming back is pretty low, especially against a great hitting team like Manitoba. But with the championship pool starting tomorrow, you just want to show well here and just feel like you make all your shots, and tomorrow's a new day. So if you didn't have Hammer in this situation, you might see Zach Balaka being asked to tick a guard. But because they've got the advantage of the last rock, a tick doesn't really do them any benefit. They're trying to prevent any score here, so we'll see Ryan Lowry come around this one. And then we'll probably see Manitoba 2 once again throw through the house, and then the Peel train will start.
Time out, Charlie. Yellow rock.
I like that here in BC, rather than referring to sheet C as Charlie, I hear the timers behind us referring to it as Chilliwack. Time out on Chilliwack.
Interesting. Well, I guess Delta is a city close to here.
Abbotsford.
And D is always Delta. So yeah, you could go Abbotsford, Burnaby, Chilliwack, Delta.
Go on. I'm waiting for that E.
Esquimalt.
Oh, no, come on now.
What?
That's Vancouver Island now.
Well, we don't really have any E's close by here. Enderby.
Yeah, that's
not close
nothing
either.
in the Lower Mainland, eh?
Whoa. That starts with E. I mean,
East Van.
East Van, but that's not a mailing address.
That's true.
Hard brain. Hard brain. Hard brain.
So Ryan Lowry's guard slipped into the house, allowing Zach Balaka to get after it, and that just keeps the hole for PEI even deeper.
You can see the frustration a little bit on the face of Tyler Smith, and I think that's something he's going to have to work at, shaking it off, because a 5-1 round robin in this preliminary round is just so many positives to be gleaned from that,
Yeah,
so many advantages that they can carry into that championship pool. And there's something to be said about body language and showing positivity out there, John.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yes and no. I think I don't mind it. I don't find his body language to be extremely negative to the point where you would think, okay, this is something we need to talk about. I think it's just been one of those games that has been consistently frustrating for PEI, and I think that's probably almost contributing to the body language more than the loss. I think coming into this game, you know Manitoba 2 is one of the strongest teams in the field, and so I don't think that PEI would have necessarily been upset with a loss. I think it's more that you're upset that you maybe didn't play as well as you would have hoped, and that you were just sort of on the wrong side of some shots. And Tyler Smith especially as the skip, he had a couple key misses that I'm sure he's sort of ruminating about in the house. So overall, though, you know, I think the PEI team has been quite good. We've seen Tyler Smith and Jacques Gauthier be friendly with each other in the house, even as the scoreboard has increased in Manitoba 2's favor, which is nice to see. And so, yeah, I agree with you, Al. You know, you never want to see teams slumping and looking super negative, but I don't find PEI has been too negative here. I think they're just ruminating on there's a little S curve at the end there. Nice little pick back into the middle, just the way they drew it up. But, yeah, overall, I think, you know, if you're PEI, you probably would have loved to go into tomorrow with an undefeated record, really put your stamp on this opening 5 days of the championship. 4 days, sorry.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, John, in the sense that they and you're right about this tonight. I think it's more about a frustration. I don't think it's any kind of endemic sort of situation with them. But I think that will be one of the conversations that Phil Gorviat has, is to focus on what was positive that was accomplished over these first 4 days. And that'll be an easy conversation, too, because there was plenty.
Line's good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we've been here for a bunch of the draws, and we've seen some fantastic shot making from Tyler Smith specifically. As we said, he's the #1 skip coming into this game. And so, yeah, like I say, I think, you know, if you told PEI at the start of the week, hey, you're going to be going into the championship round at 5-1, I think they'd be taking that all day. But it's just the way that they've gotten this one loss. They've been so sharp all week, and they probably had this game circled on the calendar knowing that this would be one of their tougher pool games. And, you just like to have a better showing. I think most competitive curlers will tell you that they don't mind losing a close game. That's sort of the beauty of this game. The game is the most fun when the game is close and lots of rocks are in play and you're having lots of debates over every shot. And instead, PEI is going to have almost 10 minutes left on the clock when this game ends because there wasn't really a whole lot to talk about. Manitoba 2, as I've said, I've used the word efficient about 6 times, but it's the best way to describe the game they've had. Just they've snuffed out all the attacks that PEI have mustered, and you know, as we said, PEI a couple unfortunate misses that sort of sealed it for Manitoba 2. But
I prefer a British soccer description: clinical.
Clinical, I like that. It's a great word too. Yeah. It has been clinical for Manitoba 2. They get that opening 3, and they've looked in control ever since.
It's good.
But yeah, lots of positives for PEI heading into tomorrow, and certainly lots of positives for Manitoba 2 as well. Coming out of this pool tied for the best record, and as you say, with the head-to-head tiebreaker against PEI, which could come into play later in the championship pool.
And we'll just update you on this Ontario-Saskatchewan women's game. I believe Ontario just took a 3 in the 8th end.
Yeah, it's been a mind-boggling turn of events over the last 4 ends for Ontario. And we saw them do that yesterday, too. In the game we called, they got down early and started stacking points.
Reminder that an Ontario win gets them into the championship pool and will not force a tiebreaker in their pool. We'll wait to confirm that to see. I'm pretty sure it was a 3 for Sierra Sutherland and her Ontario team from Ottawa.
We better update them soon because we're looking at the last shot from Manitoba 2, and then we're going to be off the air. But it was a 3. That's what's going up on the board. So Ontario taking a 10-7 lead into the 9th end. They've outscored Saskatchewan 9-1 over the last 4 ends.
Clinical.
Yeah.
Except that last end, it looked like there's 14 rocks in play.
Yeah,
so.
And there was the end before, too. Well, this should do it here. Jacques Gauthier with a takeout to end the game for Manitoba 2. And to take a 5-1 record into tomorrow.
And the handshakes are offered. It will be a victory for Manitoba number 2. They will finish first in their pool. So as we conclude, we can tell you we will be on the air tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern with the first round of championship pool play. You can get the updated schedule at the event website, curling.ca/2020 juniors. You can go to curling.ca/scoreboard for all of the remaining scores from tonight's games. And follow Curling Canada on Twitter at Curling Canada. You will be able to get updates as well as results from tonight's games and tiebreakers tomorrow morning at the Langley Curling Center. For John Curlin, I am Al Cameron saying goodnight from the Township of Langley.